Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between SUGGY and LiquidTLO here on Kulas Ravine. This game was taken from a ladder game, I believe, so it was highly rated and should be pretty interesting. This game is sponsored by Raptor, or the shoutcast is sponsored by Raptor. Go ahead and check out their website. I am a member of Raptor. You can go ahead and add me as a friend. And whenever I load up StarCraft 2 and I'm playing, you can see when I'm playing. And at some point, I plan on trying to play with some of you guys out there. I know a lot of you guys have been asking if we can get some 1v1 ins, and I am in the works of trying to get something like that set up. Now back to the game. LiquidTLO, or the little one, spawning as the red Terran player over here at the 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock position. Meanwhile, SUGGY spawning as the blue Protoss player over here. So now we already have a very early probe now moving out. Gonna go ahead and scout in the counterclockwise direction, quickly revealing TLO. So we'll see how TLO responds to this. We now have an early supply or standard supply depot being placed down. Most likely should follow up with a 12 racks and then a 13 refinery. And that would be just a pretty standard opening in this game so far. Now, yeah, waiting for that additional 25, 15 minerals. There it goes. And now in comes that barracks. Barracks now being placed down. Probe wanting to come over, try to harass that SCV, but no, another one of Steve's friends coming in to try to save him. Sorry, Peppy, you won't get that kill. But Peppy now moving around and juking this SCV, and what's going to happen is that this probe is going to start regenerating its shield. So one SCV is going to come off, another one, that one's going to go ahead and start mining again. So a new fresh SCV coming over as now one goes out to scout, and in comes another fight. So this probe already has dealt, wow, 25 damage. Need to turn off my Windows key. And back over here, so now we see this probe continuing to do just as much harassment as possible. SUGGY doing a great job in the base of SUGGY. We already see one gateway being placed down along with an assimilator. So an early assimilator now coming in as this probe coming around, trying to do more harassment. One Marine now being trained up. So one Marine now being trained, and that probe is going to be forced to pull away. Over here, we now see SCV not finding where SUGGY is, as this probe now hiding over here. Did TLO see it, or was that probe just left there to hide? And I think the probe moved in this direction and then is hugged along this wall to try to check. We do have this Marine now looking for that probe, but is not going to find it. We'll see what that probe is going to be able to do. We have a cybernetics core already coming into play, and this probe just hiding here and really free so far, as more Marines now being trained up. Also, we are getting a lot of gas, so we should probably be getting to 150 minerals and then throwing down a factory in just a moment. So there it is. There's that factory as more Marines now being trained. So the Marines there more to try to handle any sort of void ray tactic. One Zealot now out. No stalkers coming out from SUGGY. Very nice, as he did not see a tech lab. That's very important. If you don't see that tech lab, to not try to chrono boost or try to train that early stalker. Don't chrono boost it. Chrono boost your probes instead and try to get a stronger economy going. Now gonna go ahead and go for that warp gate. So if this probe tries to throw in some sort of proxy pylon, they will be able to deploy units straight into that base. Now we do see TLO does see this, and over here on the bottom right hand side does know the starting location, and SUGGY now opening up with a 2 gate. And we'll see if it's going to be a 2 gate or if whether it's going to be some sort of 3 or 4 gate. There is a bunker now being placed down here as SUGGY's probe is still sitting there. So SUGGY sitting with that probe right there may be able to get that pylon out, and that's going to be really bad, as those Marines really need the cover of that bunker to really be able to deal any serious damage. TLO, no tech labs on any of these barracks, so that means no Marauders. We do have Hellions now being trained. We should also see the Infernal Pre-Igniter also being researched in just a moment as well. No, Siege Tech now being researched, as that Siege Tank now coming into play, and now 2 additional gateways. Yeah, so this build looks as though it is going to be some sort of 4-gate warp-in push, with this warp gate already completed. And as long as that probe is able to get that one building down, that is going to be absolutely just horrendous news. One Hellion now moving out, as these 2 stalkers and 1 Zealot moving out. One probe now trying to run away from this Hellion. Hellion will be able to get off a couple quick hits, and now that Hellion's being forced to come around. No, gonna go ahead and come back up here, take down that probe. Down it goes, but now in comes this pylon. So SUGGY now doing some sort of proxy pylon with a fake juke, And now this 4 gate is going to be very, very interesting to see how it's going to work out. This should also be upgraded to a warp gate in just a moment, along with this. And as soon as this pylon is done, this is going to be really, really bad news. TLO still does not see this pylon. So this pylon still there, nothing really being built over there, and now in comes some zealots. So zealots now being warped in over here as these siege tanks, marines, and SCVs now moving out to try to do some sort of tech. More zealots now being warped in here as the stalkers are going to go into a little bit of an engagement. This is going to be really, really bad positioning. Marines now coming out, zealots or stalkers now trying to pull back, and now there are now zealots just running through the base of TLO, and TLO now probably just wondering what's happening as this pylon is right here. Stalkers coming out doing this engagement here, and things are looking bad as TLO is being forced to retreat with his units over here. Stalkers do move a little bit more quickly, so they will be able to catch up to some of those marines. SCV is now trying to pull back over here as zealots now taking down this orbital command. Orbital command already down to 1,000 hit points, will need to get taken down very quickly. Also more stalkers coming in, more stalkers being warped in, SCVs coming off the line, siege tanks, and now these stalkers are just fighting back over here. Are they going to be able to get a couple of quick kills? There is one pylon there, and now in comes that force field, so stalkers now coming in, and TLO is definitely pushed inside this base. Not looking good. Siege tanks trying to blast away. Stalkers able to start focusing down these units, and TLO says GG. Wow, what a great game on this ladder match between LiquidTLO, the little one, and SUGGY here on Kulas Ravine. This proxy pylon sitting there. What a beautiful juke, just moving out with a probe and then hugging along that top wall to place that pylon just out of sight almost the whole entire game. Using a beautiful 4 warp gate push in order to just deploy those zealots into that base. And now TLO already very, very much hurting from the harvester count, 18 to 23. You can see SUGGY with a larger army, and that was the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this rather short but entertaining game here on Kulas Ravine between the little one and SUGGY.